So, I was on TikTok just checking out things, and they always like to do, like, there's this one that I'm following on TikTok where it talks about certain safe places or whatever is most popular and whatnot, even dangerous in certain states of areas. So, I show my one best friend who used to live here in Oregon, to be careful because, I care. And she was being a problem going, oh, well, this place is more safer than Newburgh, Oregon. I'm like, um, that we weren't living in Portland. We live in Newburgh. It does not have as high as crime rate as Portland, Roseburg. I'm trying to remember what was the other few ones that are the higher crime rates. Most of them are a lot further away from the Yamhill County area. So I try to explain that, and she was being a hypocrite. I'm like, do you even not watch the news about how Texas is like the fourth most dangerous state to live in? She's like, well, I live in this city and it's brand new land. I'm like, hon, it's not brand new. Nothing's brand new land. It's not a new city or anything. And it does have a crime rate there. It's not high, but it does not mean it is 100% safe when it's not. No state in America is really as safe as it used to be. This is not the 1950s, and further back where crime rates were not as high. Things start becoming high once it hit, like, it was like the 1970s. Because I wanted to learn more about that stuff when it comes down to things like that. Because I like to be aware. And she was being a bitch about it. And I'm like, really? I care about you because I'm being a good friend. And she's like, well, I almost got kidnapped once in Newburgh. What does that have to do with the crime rate here? It doesn't mean it necessarily. You didn't even got kidnapped at all. You thought you were always going to get kidnapped, but you didn't at all. Because I remember she texted me that. She thought she was, but I'm like, oh gosh, there are only certain people that they go for. She's not one of them. I already know that for a fact because we're not skinny people. They go for the skinny people. When have you ever heard about a fat woman getting kidnapped because there's such a thing? There is zero results on that. I've looked that up. And it's like, girl, we're not skinny people at all, and they don't go kidnapping women like us. You got spooked by a guy who seemed a little creepy, but he didn't even kidnap you at all, and she was being a hypocrite. I'm like, but that doesn't mean he was going to shoot you or anything. You just thought he was going to do something like that, and it's like, but he didn't. I'm like, how would he would have done it? You are heavy. You're not light. She's bigger than me, and she's also taller than me, too. So I'm like, huh, you would weigh way more than I do. It's like, I'm not being mean, but that's reality. And it's like, I didn't even tell her that, but I just know that never even happened. Newburgh is a little more safer than Portland. I mean, way more safer than Portland. Because I can go out and about, nothing happens to me. Yeah, there's been some crime things that have happened, but not that much. It's a low crime rate in Newburgh. It's like neck and neck from her city, but that doesn't mean necessarily it's gonna stay as safe. It's like you grew up in Newburgh. I actually lived in a city that's slightly more dangerous than Newburgh, and it was McMinnville. That one actually does have a kind of a high rate, but not as high as Portland and a few other cities in Oregon, but it's still higher than Newburgh. But I even told her that. And I'm like, hun, I've I know these things because I am always alert and aware. I even told her about how even the news I would see, even when it comes to my favorite YouTubers who talk about these crime that happen. Like Like people who would never expect in a small town that anything would ever happen, and then it does. It's like this is no longer way back when our parents or grandparents who were safe. This is not that age anymore. This is the 21st century where things are a lot worse. And it gets worse every day. And she likes to think, oh, it's more safer. And she acts like it's like how you haven't even lived there a year to even know that. You don't even go look up things anymore. Or even try to look up. Oh my god, you're 28 years old, you're younger than me, and you have a lot to learn. She likes to think that everything is all about. She likes to think, oh, well, everything's all about rainbows, butterflies, heartsies, everything's so safe and nice and great where she's at. I'm like, huh? And what reality is that? Because not everyone is going to be as great, and you already told me not everyone is as friendly as you told me, so don't lie. And that makes me upset that she had to behave that way, so I'm like, I'm taking a break from this shit because you're not going to realize that I am caring about your safety, and I had to show you that for a reason, because it does show other states on that list. Pretty much every single state, like I said, in America. Even there are countries that are way worse than America that have the most extreme high rates of crime. I'm not saying we're like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean where you live it's all sunshine and it nothing bad ever happens. There's no crime that ever happens here. That's what she acts like. I'm like, in what world? I had to send a screenshot of that kind of thing going, look, it still has a crime rate. So don't even go there. It doesn't necessarily mean it's as safe as you would think. It's still a bit safe, but not 100% safe. I'm sorry, nothing is ever 100% anymore. Reality checked. She has so much to learn, you know. But anyways, I needed to talk about that because it's upsetting when you have to deal with a certain friend who thinks like, oh, you don't know anything. And I'm like, hun, I've lived longer than you. I like to be aware of certain things and I like to learn about these things to know and be prepared for anything. But she likes to think nothing would happen to her because she's there. Oh, I was in Newark, Oregon, and I almost got kidnapped when nothing ever got close to that. It's like, hun, actually being kidnapped means the guy actually literally grabbing you and hauling you out. There were some people around anyways. You were safe. Your mom got there in time. You were just spooked. That was it. There's a difference. But yeah. Anyways, please like and subscribe. I would appreciate it.